this is exemplary leadership. And it is at the best because as I said, he remains quiet, he remains reticent, and some would believe even reclusive. But you've been an actor, he's been a producer, and he's also been a director. That is passion of taking cinema to its entire level. Ajay, first, just share with us, your journey these 32 years. What inspired you to get to cinema, and how have you kept yourself relevant these 32 years in sort of from acting to producing to directing?
Good evening, everybody. What inspired me? I think since I remember, I would say, as a child, cinema was always around me and was everything to me because of my father. He was one of the topmost action directors and then became a director. Very innovative, technically very, very strong at that point of time, where we did not have that kind of technology and VFX and things like this. He would create things which were practically impossible. And that fascinated me always, and I learned a lot from him. I think when I was 9 or 10 years old, I started editing with him. So by 11 years or 12 years, when I was 11 or 12, I used to edit the sequences he used to shoot. And he got me a camera, and I started shooting films in whatever capacity I could. So I love the technology, especially where cinema is concerned. So if somebody asks me, what would you have been if not in films? I wouldn't know, because I don't know anything else. So I think this credit is completely my father's. I think he made me what I am today.
No, I'm sure it is, because it was, for all of us from the industry, we know of Viruji's contribution and what he did, what he brought to, action and bringing in that level of contemporariness to our films way back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, etc. But over the last 3 decades, friends, I'm not too sure how much you're aware. I'm sure you've seen Ajay's films and his ability to sort of move from action to complete wacky comedy, to being involved in a thriller like Drishyam, to actually portraying, a character from our history like Tanaji, which, by the way, in 2020 went on to becoming the biggest grossing film, aggregating 279 crores. You've emerged as one of the tallest actors, undoubtedly, Ajay. And you've shown immense leadership and entrepreneurial zest, and that's really what I want to talk about. Because from being a producer to now owning a studio, to even entering the world of, you've started NYFX Wala, and you've started a cinema chain, you've acquired a cinema chain, NY Cinemas in New York. NY, by the way, is an acronym for Nisa and Yug, his 2 children. Tell us about, your journey from the creative side into the business aspect of cinema, because you've chosen also very apt. I think VFX is a phenomenal area. What is NY VFX Wala been doing?
So like I said, I've always loved the technical side of filmmaking. And we used to always feel that at one point of time that we can't do what Hollywood can do. We used to struggle because we didn't have that kind of technology and people weren't trained in that manner. And like I said, since I was a kid, I was always fascinated to do something which would make us stand at par with Hollywood. And I remember the first time the VFX was used, I used it in a film called Pyar To Rahta. I think that was 98, 99, where the first machine had come in. Nobody knew how to use it, and I was the first one to do it. So there are a lot of firsts I've tried to do because I love to upgrade, and that's how slowly I went on to starting a VFX studio of my own, which is Touchwood, one of the best VFX studios in the country, and it can compete with anywhere in Hollywood. And there are lots of cameras and technologies which I try to bring it in. First time they were expensive, but now everybody's using it. So it's that passion towards filmmaking, complete filmmaking, where you talk about cinemas. If you visit any of our cinemas, you will have a different experience completely. It's not like a regular cinema, so you need to go there and see it. So it's that passion of experience of watching a film or making a film, where audiences go and watch a film also. They should have a very different experience. I think it's just that passion and that love of cinema, and I would like to keep doing that till I...
No, keep at it, because that kind of teased me up to you. You talked 3-4 times about technology, and where we sit today, media. This is a forum which is essentially made up of media, marketeers, agencies, and we're at this amazing culmination of, where media, storytelling, technology, these worlds are kind of coming together. Almost like a cube-like sense, you can move from audio to video to games to VFX to augmented reality, virtual reality. When you find so much change happening, today our platforms where consumers are going to are no longer just cinema halls. They get it at home, OTT platforms. The whole style of movie making with VFX has gone into a narrative which is so immersive. Tell us, how do you see, as a leader of, Hindi cinema, what's your outlook the next 5-10 years? Do you see audiences adapting, or do you see storytellers embracing these mediums?
In the sense, the storytellers need to grow and change with the changing times and with the audiences. There was a point where we weren't exposed to so much of international cinema, and now because of the OTT platforms and the technology and the connectivity and the internet, I think everybody is watching everything, and we have a competition. We have a competition in the sense where quality of films is concerned, storytelling is concerned. You also have to adapt to the newer generation, the way they started. I learn a lot from my children and their friends. So many times, my daughter, she watches a film and she's watching it on 2x. And I'm like, how can you understand a film on 2x? You're going so fast. And she says, no, I got the point, and this is how, otherwise it gets very boring. So you need to learn that, patience is running out. They're on Insta, the patience is not more than 30 seconds. They keep changing. So how do you engage the audience and keep the audience engaged is the most important thing. And for us, filmmaking can be on OTT, theaters. Theater experience can never go, I would say, because it's a different experience watching a big film on screen. But yes, we have to decide what to make for theaters and what to make for OTT. So we need to adapt ourselves.
Sure. So since you talk about your daughter, Lisa, by the way, who's 20, my daughter is 18 and a half, and this 1.5 or 2x is a standard. It comes to them from their learning, because in YouTube they'll just go and they'll learn at that speed itself. So that's it. But I'm sure, your son who's younger, he's probably already multitasking, because whilst he may be watching something on the screen, but he's playing a game at the same time.
They all can do so many things. We need to concentrate on one thing, and they are multitasking and they're doing 5 things at a time, and they are doing it perfectly.
Yeah, that's right. And that is what, as I said, brings us to the world of media, entertainment, gaming, the metaverse, all kind of converging. My last question to you, because we are in an audience like this, Ajay, you've been a brand that's sort of sustained and grown over the last 32 years. The IAA, as I mentioned, is a body which is represents the best of media and agencies, etc. You've endorsed numerous brands. Just out of curiosity, say in the last 5-10 years, can you name me 2 brands that you believe did justice to your persona and they in turn benefited as well? How can you name maybe 2 of those commercials which strike out for you?
I can, but I wouldn't.
We'll take to that. But I think Anything you'd like to tell the audience before? What's new coming in 23? What are some of the films that are coming?
The film which I've just completed is Maidan, which is a lovely true story in the 50s. When I don't think a lot of people know about it, but when it was the golden era of football for India. India won the Asia Cup, but because of only one man, and it's his story. So that will be out soon, and right now I will be starting to shoot for a film called Singham, which is Singham 3.
Fantastic. Ajay, we wish you all the very best.